King Charles' heartbreaking confession about the love of his life at 76. Do you know who
From
the
Government
true
House
love
in
of
Brisbane,
King Charles'
a very
life
special
is?
edition of A Current
Most
Affair.
people think they know the answer,
Thank you.
but his recent confession at the age of 76 might leave you speechless. For decades, the world has speculated endlessly about the deepest emotions of this monarch.
It's always one of those terrible.
Was it his first love, a lifelong companion,
Of the
or
ancient
someone
goddess of
completely
hunting.
unexpected?
So many people, and I've
The
been all
question
over
lingered, weaving a web
the
of
place,
curiosity around his
but I
heart.
never know which.
Yet when King Charles finally opened up, the words he
Throughout her
spoke were
life,
like a quiet
all
thunderclap,
my family
stunning
have
everyone.
We
What made
have
this
seen our
revelation so
society
astonishing was not just the identity he mentioned, but the tender sincerity behind it. A
one
rare
of many
glimpse into a man
cultures
shaped
and
by
many
duty,
faiths.
loss, and love.
The institutions
So who did he call the love of
the
his
state.
life? The answer defies the assumptions many held for years, delivering a surprise that leaves us both astonished and reflective. This is not merely a story of royal romance. It's a journey into the heart that lies beneath the crown.
Have changed.
Let's
in
uncover
turn.
the emotional confession he
But-
finally made.
Through all
Princess Diana. Many believe that Camilla or Diana was Charles's first public relationship, but that's
we
not the
also
whole
share
story.
with so many
The most
people.
vivid memory Charles
Often
holds is of Diana. He still remembers, wow, the first time he saw her. Beneath the clear blue sky of a brilliant summer day, young Prince Charles of England stepped into Althorp. The air carried the scent of freshly turned earth, mingling with the cheerful chatter of guests gathered around the lush green fields. He was there not for a fateful encounter, but to attend a shooting party hosted by Sarah Spencer, the girl who held his heart at the time. Sarah, with her aristocratic charm and confident smile, was his companion during those days. But fate, like a skilled choreographer, had silently arranged something else. Amid the crowd, a figure shone like sunlight at noon, Diana, Sarah's 16-year-old younger sister. Youthful and radiant, she seemed to embody the spirit of the Althorp fields. Charles, then 29, was much older, but the age gap couldn't stop the first spark that flickered in his eyes. He stood there, exchanging pleasantries with Sarah, yet his gaze was involuntarily drawn to Diana. There was something about her, an effortless beauty, a natural warmth, that stirred something unfamiliar within him. Curious, he moved closer and gently asked, "May I see the art collection in your home?" A simple question, but for Diana, it was a moment etched into her heart. For her, it was the start of an unspoken dream, but the path ahead was far from smooth. After that day, Charles remained with Sarah. Photographs of them skiing in the Swiss Alps, laughing amid the snow, seemed to affirm that his heart belonged to the elder sister. To Charles, Diana was merely a passing shadow, a faint and unreachable hope. But fate took another turn. One day, in the cold light of an interview, Sarah bluntly said, "I don't love Charles, and I have no intention of marrying him." That confession was like a breeze that scattered the clouds, revealing an open sky. His romance with Sarah quietly ended, and the door to Diana unexpectedly creaked open. Years passed, gently covering Althorp's memories in dust. Charles and Diana happened to meet again at his 30th birthday party. That night, they passed each other like two parallel lines, no words, no glances. But destiny was not finished. One evening at the cozy home of Philip de Pass, they stood face to face again. That night, grief engulfed Charles. His beloved uncle, Lord Louis Mountbatten, had been killed in a brutal IRA attack. He collapsed, his shoulders trembling with unspoken pain. Diana, with a heart as gentle as spring wind, approached him. Her voice was soft, her comforting words like a cool stream soothing his parched soul. In that moment, Charles' gaze changed. He no longer saw her as the naive girl from Althorp, but as someone who brought light into his darkness. An invisible thread bound their hearts, deep, real, undeniable. But was it true love? Or a fragile moment of weakness in him, and her warmth masking the storms ahead? Under the quiet night sky, their story had just begun. You won't want like to a miss. Book with its More first than just page Diana's turned, sister, full of promise Lady and Elizabeth mystery.
Sarah
Lavinia
A gentle
McCorquodale
breeze swept
has
through the deep
unleashed a
green woods of
revelation so
Balmoral
explosive it's like a
carrying the scent
thunderclap
of
in a
wild
silent
grass
night.
and Scottish earth.
For years,
Charles
she's
stood by a
dodged the
sparkling
glare of that
river,
tragic
fishing
spotlight.
rod in hand,
But
his
now, in
soft
a
brown
gripping
eyes fixed
documentary
on
tribute to
Diana.
Diana,
The young girl with
Diana
shining
wasn't
blonde
spared
hair
either.
clumsily
A
held the fishing
videotape
line,
recorded by her
awkward
voice
smile
coach,
making
Peter
him
Settlin,
chuckle.
surfaced.
Just relax your
Hired
hand,
to
Diana,
refine
he
her
said, his
public
warm
speaking,
voice like a promise.
Settlin became. He stepped closer, gently guiding her movements. It wasn't just a fishing lesson. It was his way of opening the door to his world, showing her she wasn't just a passing guest. Diana's heart beat faster, like a little bird newly freed from its cage. The bond between them tightened, and before long, the world began to watch, captivated by what seemed like a fairy tale love story. On February 24th,
She's summoning the
1981,
courage to
the lights
confront
of
the
Buckingham
questions
Palace
that have
blazed
gnawed at
brightly.
us all.
Charles
Sarah
and Diana
drops a
stood
stunning
hand in hand
truth.
before hundreds
Diana
of
was
curious
practically
journalists.
religious
"We're
about wearing her
engaged," he announced,
seatbelt.
his voice
Sarah
proud
was
but
2 years
slightly
older than
trembling.
Jane Fellows,
Diana,
and 6 years
dressed in
Diana's
a graceful
senior.
blue dress,
The
smiled
Spencer
up with
children
starlit
grew up
eyes.
steeped in royal
"He's
circles,
wonderful," she said,
with 4 of
her
their
simple
grandmothers
compliment
serving as ladies
carrying
in
an
waiting
ocean
to
of
Queen
feeling.
Elizabeth.
Charles
Their childhood
responded with a
unfolded at
polite
Park
smile.
House, a home
"I'm
rented
delighted,"
on the
she
Queen
accepted.
Sandringham estate.
But as the camera
Sarah and
flashes
Diana
lit the
shared a
room,
great
a
relationship.
shadow flickered
Many
in his
believe the
eyes.
younger sister
A
saw
quiet
Sarah as a
secret,
hero.
like morning mist
Their
still
bond
clinging to
with
the
their
Scottish
parents,
hills.
however, was uneven.
Charles had planned
John and
everything
Frances
like a
couldn't salvage their
meticulous
marriage,
artist crafting
which
his
ended in
masterpiece.
separation and
A private
divorce.
dinner in a lavish
Frances craved
Buckingham
freedom
room.
and soon wed Peter,
Candlelight dancing on his
Shankid.
face as he
John
knelt
sued
down,
for full custody of his
presenting a
children and
dazzling
won.
12-carat
As a
blue
result,
sapphire
Sarah,
ring from
Diana,
Sri
and their
Lanka.
siblings
The
stayed
gem,
at Park House with their
encircled by
father.
brilliant diamonds,
They later moved to
carried the soul of
Althorp
a
after
past
their
gift.
grandfather, the
Prince
7th Earl
Albert's brooch
Spencer,
for Queen
passed
Victoria
away.
in 1840.
Sarah earned the
"Think
title of
carefully,
Lady
Diana,"
when her
he
father
said,
became the 8th
his
Earl
voice low
Spencer.
and caring.
He
Arranging for
remarried
her to
Reign,
visit Australia
Countess
to
of
consider
Dartmouth,
it.
a choice
her
that
heart
didn't
needed
sit
no
well
time.
with the Spencer children.
"Yes," she answered instantly,
Tension
her eyes
brewed
blazing with resolve.
brewed between them and
She
their
was ready to
stepmother
leave
for
behind
years.
her cozy
Sarah
flat in
stepped in
Kensington,
to fill
where
the
laughter
gap
of
in Diana's
friends still
life,
lingered,
guiding
to
her
step
through
into
the
Clarence
upheaval
House,
of a new mother
a
figure.
new home where dreams began.
Diana admitted
When
to
the ring
resenting
slipped
her
onto her
stepmother
finger, the world
and
held
described her
its breath at the
childhood as
grace of the future
unstable.
princess.
But Sarah
But
did
that
her
shining
best to
light didn't
support her.
last forever.
How could
One day
Sarah
in a
have
sunlit
led
room in
Diana down a
Buckingham,
dark
a
path if
journalist's
she
voice
always
rang
had her
sharp.
best
"Do you
interests
love
at
each
heart?
other?" Diana
What
lifted
did
her
Sarah
head,
do to her
confident
sister?
smile blooming like
A push
spring.
off the cliff.
"Of course," she replied.
Before
her voice
Diana
clear,
became a
like
global
silver
icon,
bells.
she was just a
The
simple
room fell
girl.
silent.
Let's peek into
Charles
her
looked
early
down,
days to understand.
hesitated,
Did you know
and
she
then
was
dropped a sentence that
homeschooled
rocked
under the
the room.
watchful eye of
Whatever
Governess
love
Gertrude Allen?
means. Those words felt
Diana
like a
only
stone
began
into a
formal
still lake,
education when
sending
her
ripples
father
through
deemed
Diana's
her ready
heart.
to fend for
She kept
herself.
smiling, but a flicker
She
of
started
sadness
at
crossed her
Silfield
eyes.
Private
The
School in
first
Norfolk,
crack in the fairy
then
tale.
moved to
Did
Riddlesworth
she hear the
Hall,
warning whispers
an
deep within her
all-girls
soul?
boarding school.
As time
At
passed,
9,
the
Diana
darkness
joined her
began to reveal
sisters at
itself.
West Heath Girls' School
One
in
quiet afternoon
Sevenoaks.
at Clarence House,
There, she honed
Diana
her
silently
charisma
opened
and
a
earned an
small
award
box
for
tucked away in
outstanding
a corner
community
of
spirit.
Charles's room.
After finishing school
Inside
at
was a
16, Diana
bracelet,
was eager to
not
try
meant for her.
everything.
The word
She
Camilla
loved music
engraved
and
on
became
it
a skilled
stabbed her heart
pianist.
like a knife.
Swimming was a
space around her
favorite
swayed.
pastime, but above all, she
Mrs.
studied
Chen
ballet and
hated
tap
the
dance.
thumping of her heart.
She
drowned
once
out all
quipped that if
sound.
she hadn't become a
Tears welled up
princess,
as she
she'd have
whispered,
loved to be a
"No,
dancer.
this can't be."
As far as we
She
can
wanted to
tell,
run, to
her
erase
life was
this
blooming.
dream, but her sisters
Diana
entered,
wasn't afraid
their
to
voices
explore the
cold
world.
as the east wind.
When she moved
"It's
to
too
London,
late,
she
Diana.
spoke of
The
sharing a
world is
flat
waiting."
with other girls, learning
The
to
dress
take
is
life
ready.
as it came.
She stood up,
Rumors swirled
trembling
that she
hands
worked as a
wiping away
nanny,
the tears.
a youth
Beneath
dance
the fading
instructor,
sunset, she
a
stepped out of the
playgroup,
room,
preschool
each
assistant,
step leading her
even a
to
party
fateful
hostess.
crossroad. If she
Diana
had
was
turned back,
spectacular,
if she had followed the voice in
adapting
her heart and
swiftly
run
to her
away,
new London life.
would the story have
Her
been
most
rewritten?
popular gig was as a
Could true
nursery teacher's
happiness have
assistant
waited for
at the
her on
Young
another
England
horizon?
School in Pimlico.
The door
For a
closed
time, she
behind
lived
her,
with Sarah,
leaving
trove
that
of
question
mystery here
hanging in
waiting
the
to be
stillness.
unearthed.
And
So
then
grab a
fairy
seat
tale
and
wedding
join
took
us as we
place.
plunge
Diana
headfirst
sat
into this
surrounded by her
captivating
sisters,
enigma.
their
Lady
laughter
Sarah
ringing like
McCorkerdale's
silver
life
bells,
is a
echoing
tale
in the
worth
warm room.
exploring,
Her heart beat
especially
fast,
since she's at the
filled
heart
with
of
both
rumors tied to her
excitement and
sister's
nervousness for the big
demise.
day ahead.
Born the eldest
That night,
of
when
4
she
to
thought
British
nothing could make the moment
aristocrat
more
John
perfect,
Spencer
the
and
door creaked
Frances
open.
Shan Kidd became a
Charles
confidant.
walked in, his deep
In the
brown
tapes,
eyes
Diana
glowing with
discussed
warmth.
more than voice
In his
lessons.
hand was a
She
small
spoke of her
box
marriage
revealing
and
a
admitted
stunning
to being
signet ring from
deeply in
Buckingham,
love with someone
engraved
else
with the
years
Prince of
earlier.
Wales's feathers.
We know to
He
take her
placed it in her
seriously
hand
when she
along with a
declares her
small
feelings.
handwritten note.
Her teenage
Each
love
letter
for
dancing
Charles
with
landed
love
her
and hope
here.
for their future.
But in these tapes,
Diana
she wasn't
smiled,
talking
feeling
about
as if
him.
the whole world rested
She
in her
described a
hands.
man in the
the royal
On July
circle,
29th,
saying she was
London held its
quite
breath.
happy to give it up
Beneath the
and got
towering
off
dome
with
of St.
him.
Paul's Cathedral,
Her
light
love interest, she
streamed through
said,
stained glass
was
windows,
ousted from his role as her
illuminating the long
bodyguard
aisle.
after
750
suspicions of
million
their
eyes
connection
across
led to his
74
transfer.
countries were glued to
Diana
screens,
called him a good
witnessing
friend,
a
but did not
historic
a
moment.
romance.
The first time
Perhaps
in
she
3
still held
centuries
some
that an
love for
English girl
Charles
stood
despite his
beside the
public
future
betrayal.
king. The lavish
Diana
wedding
also
cost
spoke of
48
Charles's
million, but even
mistreatment,
as that
saying,
splendor
"He
paled
made
in
me feel
comparison
so
to Diana."
inadequate in every
She stepped out
possible
of the
way.
carriage, her
Each time
ivory
I came
silk
up for
gown
air,
flowing like
he
a
pushed
river
me
of
down
light.
again." With this info and speculation swirling, the fairy tale romance was clearly sinking. Diana was linked to other unconfirmed affairs. Tired of refuting claims she might have let the public think what they wanted, she didn't just blame Camilla for her marriage's collapse. Rumors suggested she believed Charles was involved with other women. In a letter to her favorite butler, Paul Burrell, she hinted at more shocking revelations. Stay tuned to find out. The kingdom's future weighs heavily before anyone marries into the royal family. Charles and Diana's union seemed to strain the monarchy. Royals typically led quiet lives, avoiding drama, but these two broke from that decorum. They became the family's most controversial members, with daily updates on their relationship splashed across headlines. For years, the prestigious family faced scrutiny for the wrong reasons. Rumored affairs, not state affairs. Charles and Diana took media hits, denting their reputations. Were some claims true? We'll find out as the story unfolds. Diana often issued statements denying outrageous infidelity rumors, insisting she hadn't followed Charles's path with Camilla. It didn't sway insiders who'd seen their marriage up close. In a twist, Buckingham Palace announced the Queen had advised Charles and Diana to divorce. Discussions lasted weeks before letters were sent to the couple. Prime Minister John Major and senior counselors backed the Queen's move. Charles agreed in a written statement. After talks with Charles and the Queen's representatives, Diana consented, setting her terms. Their divorce finalized that summer. Though she remained Princess of Wales, she lost the Her Royal Highness title. They shared custody of their children. Diana received a $17 million settlement and $400,000 yearly. A non-disclosure agreement barred them from sharing details of their divorce or marriage. Still, she was respected as the prince's mother. Post-divorce, Diana kept her Kensington Palace apartment and access to royal security from the Metropolitan Police's Royalty Protection Group, which she used when traveling with her sons. She later refused it, cutting ties with the royal family. Diana may have given up on Charles, but not on the people who adored her. She maintained her public profile, resuming charity work with a focus on mental health patients. She made hospital visits with William and Harry, showing them the world's realities and the less privileged. People couldn't stop admiring her compassion, humility, and warmth. They marveled at how quickly she bounced back after leaving the royals. Diana wasn't a princess just because of her title. She earned it. Settling into this new chapter, she considered love again. Sadly, one final decision led to her demise. She accepted an invitation to France from companion Dodi Fayed, meant as a relaxing getaway. In a Paris tunnel, Princess Diana and Dodi Fayed were caught in a car crash while fleeing relentless paparazzi. Dodi and their driver, Henri Paul, were confirmed dead on impact. Diana was badly injured but responsive until the ambulance arrived. She reached the hospital but passed away early the next morning. The news stunned the world. The people's princess was gone. Many couldn't believe it. Lady Sarah and Jane Fellows traveled with Charles to France to retrieve Diana's body. The vibrant 36-year-old's life was cut short. Sarah was among the few Diana trusted in those turbulent years. She was often seen with her nephews, Princes William and Harry, around London. The sisters frequently vacationed with their children. Witnessing this tragedy broke Sarah's heart. She contributed readings at Diana's funeral, served as co-executor of her will, and became president of the Diana Princess of Wales Memorial Fund. Remember Diana's butler? A letter from her to Paul Burrell revealed the unthinkable. She allegedly believed Charles planned to end her life to clear the path for remarriage. She even predicted her death, fearing the air barn was bugged. Many might dismiss her as paranoid or obsessed. We don't know how Burrell reacted, but it likely stirred deep thought. Why would Charles need her gone? She was no longer in his way. So what did she mean? Controversy swirled after her death. Many suspected a planned attack. Dodi's father claimed his son and Diana were murdered, insisting the crash wasn't natural. Some alleged
Harry's
Diana
birth
was under
couldn't
U.S.
mend the broken
surveillance.
pieces between them.
An inquest
In that
probed her
brightly lit
demise,
room
questioning
amid
Sarah.
laughter and
She said Diana
congratulations,
called her from
a
Al-Fayed's
silent question
luxury
echoed
yacht,
within her.
fearing it was
Could
bugged
this
by his father.
happiness last, or was
Sarah
it just
noted
a
others
fleeting
suspected
chapter before the book
MI6
closed?
involvement,
Their marriage,
or that those
already
chasing
fragile, began
Diana
to
and
fall
Dodie
apart.
weren't typical paparazzi.
Charles rekindled his romantic
Diana's
relationship
bodyguard
with
faced
Camilla Parker
scrutiny,
Bowles,
but claimed
shattering
amnesia,
Diana's trust
recalling
and
no
breaking her
useful
heart.
details.
She would later
The
call
driver,
the moment she discovered
Henri
his
Paul,
betrayal, the
faced
most devastating
allegations
day
of
her
being
life.
under the
Desperate
influence
to
of
save her
alcohol
marriage,
and drugs.
Diana made a bold move in
The inquest
1989.
ruled no foul
At a
play,
birthday
just
party,
Paul's
she confronted
recklessness
Camilla face
caused
to
their
face.
deaths.
It was
The
one of
case
the
closed
bravest
long
things she'd
ago,
ever done.
but Diana's
Charles
threat to
did not
powerful
change.
figures lingers.
His relationship with
When Sarah
Camilla
decided Prince
only
Charles
grew
wasn't
stronger.
ready for her,
Then,
should she
in
have seen the
92,
same
a
for
private
Diana?
phone call between
If
Charles
she could
and
turn
Camilla
back
was leaked
time,
to the press.
would she have kept
The
them
world was
apart?
shocked. Nicknamed
Diana was a
Camilla Gate,
strong,
the
generous
scandal
woman who
revealed
lived a
intimate
sad
details
life.
of their affair,
She deserved
making
love,
headlines across
matching the
globe.
affection
Camilla,
she gave others.
who was still married to
She
Andrew
spent
Parker
years
Bowles,
striving
faced
to be
intense
enough.
scrutiny, and
Being
Charles's
next in line as
reputation
future
suffered
queen was a
greatly.
big role,
Instead of
but it
hiding,
shouldn't have led
Charles
to her dark
addressed the
path.
scandal head-on.
Her beauty,
In a televised
captivating
interview,
smile,
journalist
and
Jonathan
generosity
Dimbleby
remain
asked him
etched
the
in many
question
hearts.
everyone wanted to know.
The world misses her, but
Had he
none
been
more
faithful
than
to
Princes
Diana?
William and Harry.
At first, Charles
They knew
insisted
a
he had
deeper
been
love
until
from
their
her
marriage
behind the
became
scenes.
irretrievably
She wasn't
broken.
just a mother.
However,
She
Diana
raised
had
them
her own story to
unconventionally
tell.
for royals,
In 95,
never
she
missing
sat
a
down for
chance
an
to be in their
iconic interview
lives
with the
despite her
BBC's
busy
Panorama
charity work.
program.
She showed
With the
them a
world
world
watching,
beyond
she
palace
openly
walls,
spoke about
helping
her
them
pain,
grasp a
her
normal life
struggles,
without titles.
and the truth of her
Years
marriage.
later, Harry,
In an
Duke of
unforgettable
Sussex,
moment,
and William, Prince
she
of
admitted
Wales,
it was a turning
honored
point.
her memory with
The fairy
graveside
tale had
visits,
shattered.
memorials,
Now
and
the
concerts.
world knew the truth about Diana's
Charles
suffering,
moved on,
her
marrying
strength,
his
and
longtime
the
love,
battles she had fought
Camilla.
behind closed doors.
They're now king and queen after
divorce
Queen
was
Elizabeth's
shocking.
passing.
When Prince Charles
Each
finally
year,
admitted
countless
the truth,
tributes celebrate the
everything
lovely
took a
Princess
dramatic
Diana.
turn.
She
Camilla
may
and
be
her
gone,
husband, Andrew
but
Parker
her love
Bowles,
stays
soon
fresh
announced
in
their
many
decision
hearts.
to end their marriage. This bombshell only added fuel to
Now
the fire.
she's
It
poised
was
to
then
shatter
revealed
that
Camilla
silence
and Andrew had
and
been
unveil the
separated
hidden
for 2
truths
years,
about the iconic
leading
Princess
people
of
to
Wales.
wonder, was
Why
Charles
didn't
and
she
Diana's
buckle up
marriage the
that
next?
night? It's a
As
question
whispers
that
of trouble
haunts
in their
me still,
relationship
Sarah
spread,
admits,
new
her voice
rumors
tinged
emerged,
with mystery.
this time about Diana.
After
People
all
began
this
talking
time,
about
she's
her
stepping
alleged
forward to
affair
speak.
with Army Captain James
What
Hewitt,
secrets will she
claiming
spill?
it began in 1986.
Could her words
and lasted
rewrite the
4
pages
years.
of history
Some
or mend
believe
the
she had turned to
fractures
Hewitt
of a
because
broken
Charles's
past?
betrayal.
Stay
Others
with
simply
us.
saw a marriage
This is a
breaking under
teacher
the
to
weight of
embody the
secrets
Princess
and
of
sorrow.
Wales.
Then,
I
on
didn't
December
like
9th,
myself, she once said.
1992, the
I was
moment
ashamed
everyone
that I
had been
couldn't cope with the
expecting
pressures.
finally arrived.
What did I
Prime
do?
Minister John
Well, I
Major
just
stood
hurt
before
my arms
Parliament
and my legs.
and announced that Prince Charles
Even
and
on her
Princess
darkest
Diana would
days, she
separate.
felt
He
compelled to
assured the
perform.
country that
In
the
a
split
TV
was
interview,
mutual,
she
and
opened
that
up
both
about
would
her
continue to
personal
co-parent their
unhappiness
sons,
and the demands
Prince
of her
William
role.
and Prince Harry.
I felt compelled
Even
to
Queen
perform.
Elizabeth supported the decision.
When I say perform, I
But
mean
just when
go
people
out,
thought they
do
had
my
seen the last of
engagements,
Charles
and not
and
let
Diana
people
together,
down.
something
Diana
unexpected
admitted
happened.
to struggling with
On May
bulimia,
30th,
a severe eating
1993,
disorder.
They attended the 50th
She looked perfect in
anniversary of the Battle of
paparazzi
the
shots,
Atlantic together.
but behind closed
Stepping off the
doors,
Royal
she was
Yacht Britannia,
unraveling.
They appeared calm.
They think
and almost
because
happy.
you're in
It
the
was their
media all
first
the
public
time,
appearance together
you've got
since
enough
the previous
attention,
Christmas.
she said.
When Diana
But I was
had joined
crying
the
out
royal
because I
family's
wanted to get
holiday
better,
tradition at
to go
Sandringham.
forward and continue my
Seeing
duty
them
and
side
role.
by side again, many
The
wondered,
media didn't help.
was there still
News
hope
broke
for
that she had a
reconciliation?
personality disorder.
After their separation,
Was no one
Diana
there to
and Charles
support her
continued
in this
living their
trying
lives
time?
in their own ways.
Was she left
Diana
to suffer
poured herself
alone?
into charity work.
Sarah
visiting
re-emerges
hospitals
as
and advocating
Diana's
for
savior.
causes close to her
Some
heart.
might think
She
Sarah
also
harbored
honed
a
her
secret
public speaking
vendetta
skills,
or
receiving
envied her
training from
sister's
voice coach
fame,
Peter
but that's
Sutherland.
far from the truth.
Meanwhile, Charles
Sarah
remained
was a
devoted
true
to his royal
sister,
duties,
stepping into
attending
Diana's
ceremonies
pain
and
when
representing
she was
the
in
monarchy both
distress.
at home and
She
abroad.
honored the love
Then
and
came
friendship
the
they shared.
inevitable announcement of their
Yet
divorce.
Diana was about to
The
lose her title
negotiations
through
were
a bold
long and
decision.
difficult.
It may
In
have
early
felt like treachery to the royal
Charles
family,
and Diana met at
but
St.
Diana was
James's Palace to
unstoppable once her mind was set, and they knew it. She'd endured Charles's affairs for years.
Back and forth,
This wasn't news to the public or well-wishers who saw them as a perfect couple. Soon, it became clear their marriage might have been a mistake. Beyond the age gap, their incompatibility was glaring. They had nothing left to hide.
For Diana,
Rumors surfaced that Charles and Diana were seeing other people. For Charles, it was always Camilla. Was it his neglect that drove Diana into rumored affairs? Reports claimed Diana was involved with James Hewitt, the royal family's writing instructor. The rumor exploded, with some suggesting he was Prince Harry's father due to a supposed resemblance.
Signaling a
Hewitt and others dismissed it as false and absurd. The loss of the title was hotly
Harry was
debated.
born 2 years
Charles
before any
insisted on
alleged
it,
affair.
while the Queen
Charles and
hesitated.
Diana grew
The
distant,
agreement gave Diana
their
financial
discomfort
security.
obvious.
She received a lump
Gone
sum of
was the sweet
$22.5
smile
million,
Diana flashed when
along
asked if
with
they
an
were in
annual
love.
allowance of
The couple was
$600,000
clearly
to support
trapped
her
in a
office
loveless
and charitable
marriage,
work.
both visibly
Although that
unhappy.
funding ended in
You
September
might think Diana
1996,
stayed quiet about
she retained
Charles's
her
rumored
residence
lover.
at Kensington Palace.
Everyone in the
Was
palace
allowed to
knew
use
about
royal
him
aircraft
and
for
Camilla,
travel,
but
and could
few
host
expected
events at St.
Diana to
James's
confront
Palace.
her at Camilla Parker
Although her
Bowles'
formal
sister's
ties to
party.
the royal family
The
were
princess
cut,
did something
some
bold.
things remained.
She spoke to Camilla
Diana
about
kept
her
jewelry
affair
from her
with
marriage
Charles,
and could still
saying
use
she knew about their
government-arranged air
relationship.
services,
That
ensuring
should have
her safety
rattled
and a smooth
Camilla.
transition
Yet,
to
in
her
a
new
later
life.
tape, Diana recounted
However,
Camilla's
her story
reply.
was far from over.
You have 2
A new
sons.
chapter for
How does
Diana.
that feel?
Princess Diana embraced
What
her
an
new
odd
life
response
with her
to being
trademark
caught.
grace and strength.
It wasn't a secret
She saw her
affair.
divorce as a
Perhaps
fresh start,
Camilla wanted
an
Diana to
opportunity
accept it.
rediscover herself.
Then came
and live
Andrew
on her own
Morton's book,
terms.
Diana,
Free
her
from
true
royal
story.
obligations,
Why
she
did
was
it
ready
draw
to
such
write a new
attention?
chapter,
What did
one
it have
filled
to
with
do with the
purpose,
royals?
passion,
Brace
and
yourself.
love.
This is
But her
unexpected.
personal life
The
remained
title
under
alone
intense
hints at
scrutiny.
revelations.
After the divorce,
What could Morton say
Diana
about
found love
Diana
again,
that the
this
world
time
didn't
with
know?
Dr. Hasnat Khan,
Shocking
a respected
details
heart and lung
emerged.
surgeon.
Diana had
Their
considered
relationship
taking
began
her
in
own life
September
multiple
1995,
times.
and
The
remained
book's
a closely
claims
guarded
sparked
secret for
outrage.
2 years.
Everyone knew
She
she
called
was
him Mr.
unhappy,
Wonderful, and those
but
close
not
to
to
her
that
believed
extent.
he was the love of
People
her life.
struggled to
But
accept
the
it.
media pressure became
Yet the
too
new
much.
information hit
Khan,
hard.
a private man,
When
couldn't bear
no
the
one
spotlight.
listens to you,
In the
or
end,
you
their love
feel
wasn't
no
enough
one's
to
listening,
withstand the
all
relentless
sorts of
attention,
things start
and
to
they
happen,
quietly
she
parted
explained.
ways.
You have
Even
so
as
much
Diana
pain
grew,
inside
rumors
that you
swirled.
try to hurt
Some
yourself
linked her
on the
to married art
outside
dealer Oliver
because you
Hoare,
want
an
help.
allegation she
But it's the
denied.
wrong
Others
help you're
speculated
asking
about a
for.
relationship with rugby
Alleged
star
secret
Will
interviews
Carling
revealed her
and
marital
businessman
struggles.
Theodore J. Forsman.
Though Diana and Morton
Though there was
denied her
little
direct
evidence,
involvement,
unlike her quiet
many
love
couldn't
with Khan,
dismiss the
her
explosive
relationship
contents.
with Dodi Fayed
He
was
claimed the
anything but
info
private.
came from her family and
Dodi,
friends.
a film producer
Shouldn't they have
and the
known
son
what
of
was
billionaire
happening with
Mohammed
her?
Al Fayed,
These
showered Diana
revelations
with
and more
attention.
fueled public
Their romance
skepticism
played out
about
under the
Diana's
flashing
denial
lights
of Morton's
paparazzi
stories.
cameras.
The Queen
Every
and Prince
move
Philip
captured
tried
for
to
the world to
intervene,
see.
unhappy
The
with the
summer
bad
of
press.
marked a
They
turning
arranged
point.
a meeting
Dodi
between
invited
Charles
Diana
and
to his
Diana,
family's
but
luxurious estate in the south
reconciliation
of France,
failed.
hoping to
The
escape
royal
the media
family
frenzy.
loved writing letters,
For a while,
and
they
soon
found
Prince
peace in their
Philip sent
private
a series
paradise.
to Diana.
But even
Like
in
others in the
luxury, they
family,
couldn't hide.
he was disappointed with
Reporters followed
Charles
them
and Diana's
everywhere.
conduct
Eventually,
amid
they
marriage
decided to go
troubles
to Paris,
and rumored affairs.
seeking a final refuge from the public eye. On the night of August 31st, 1997, tragedy struck. In the dark tunnel of Pont de l'Alma, the car carrying Diana, Dodi, and their driver, Henri Paul, crashed at a horrifying speed of 121 mph. Pursued by relentless photographers, the intoxicated driver lost control. In an instant, everything changed. The news shook the world. Diana, the people's princess, was gone. Far East reported at the time that Diana, Princess of Wales, had in fact been murdered. Her death left behind unanswered questions, broken hearts, and an overwhelming sense of loss. At the time of the accident, there had been whispers about a possible reconciliation between Diana and Charles. Just weeks earlier, on her 35th birthday, Charles had made a surprise visit to Kensington Palace. Their meeting was warm and filled with laughter. Diana even teased him, joking that he had come to reclaim her belongings. They shared tea together, a small but precious reminder of what once was. But whatever hope might have remained was lost forever that night in Paris. The grief was immense. Queen Elizabeth was deeply saddened. In the early morning, Charles had to wake his sons to deliver the heartbreaking news. The royal family went into mourning. Their official website turned black, showing only a photo of Diana alongside her birth and death dates. A virtual condolence book was created for people to share their sorrow. On Sunday, the Queen, Prince Charles, William, and Harry dressed in black as they attended church services at Crathy Kirk near Balmoral Castle. The public's outpouring of love deeply moved them. Prince Andrew and Prince Edward walked among mourners outside Kensington Palace, reading the notes left by strangers who felt as though they had lost a friend. Later on September 5th, Charles and his sons returned to London. They made an unplanned stop at the Sea of Flowers outside Kensington Palace. The sight was overwhelming. Thousands of bouquets, letters, and candles left by those who loved Diana. That same day, the Queen also returned from Balmoral. She visited the floral tributes outside Buckingham Palace, then delivered a rare televised address. Her words, spoken with sorrow and admiration, acknowledged the world's deep love for Diana. Diana's funeral was unlike anything the world had ever seen. Leaders, celebrities, and ordinary people came together to say goodbye. It was not just a royal event, but a global moment of mourning and remembrance. Prince Charles's presence at the funeral was a powerful symbol of their complex relationship, but it was his outfit that caught everyone's attention. While most were dressed in black, Charles chose a navy blue suit. Some
Dead on
criticized
impact.
his choice.
Diana was
others
badly
believed it
injured
was a
but
deeply
responsive
personal
until the
tribute
ambulance
to
arrived.
Diana.
She reached the hospital but passed away
A way
early
to
the
honor
next
her
morning.
unique spirit
The
and
news
independence.
stunned the world.
That
The people's
afternoon,
princess
Diana
was
laid to
gone.
rest in a private ceremony.
Many couldn't believe it.
Her closest
Lady
loved
Sarah and
ones,
Jane
Charles,
Fellows
William,
traveled with
Harry,
Charles to
her
France
mother,
to
her
retrieve
siblings,
Diana's body.
a close friend and a
The
priest,
vibrant
all
36-year-old's
gathered
life
to
was
say a
cut
final
short.
farewell.
Sarah
She wore
was
a
among the few
long-sleeved black
Diana
dress by
trusted in those
designer Catherine
turbulent
Walker,
years.
a
She was
choice had
often
made
seen
long
with her
before.
nephews,
In her
Princes
hands,
William and
she held a
Harry,
rosary,
around
a
London.
gift from
The
Mother
sisters
Teresa.
frequently
Diana's
vacationed with
final
their
resting
children.
place is on an island in the
Witnessing this
serene grounds of
tragedy
Althorp
broke
Park,
Sarah's heart.
her childhood
She
home.
contributed readings
It
at
is a
Diana's
peaceful
funeral,
place, far
served
from the
as
chaos that had
co-executor
followed her
of
in
her
life.
will,
But her
and
story
became
did not
president
end
of the
there. Even
Diana
in death,
Princess of
Diana's
Wales
legacy
Memorial
continued
Fund.
to shape the world.
Remember Diana's
She changed the
butler?
royal family,
A letter from her to
redefined
Paul
what it
Burrell
meant to be a
revealed the
modern
unthinkable.
princess, and left
She
a
allegedly
lasting
believed
impact
Charles
on
planned to
charity,
end her life to clear the
compassion,
path for
and
remarriage.
love.
She
was
even
not just a
predicted her death,
princess, she was a
fearing
symbol
their
of
bond was
kindness,
bugged.
courage, and
Many
humanity.
might dismiss her as
And though
paranoid
she
or
left too
obsessed.
soon, the
We
memory
don't
of
know
Diana,
how Burrell
the people's
reacted, but it
princess,
likely
will
stirred
live
deep
on
thought.
forever. The royal
Why would
family
Charles
faced
need her
heavy
gone?
criticism
She was
for
no
sticking
longer
too
in his
rigidly to
way.
royal traditions
So what did
after
she
Princess
mean?
Diana's death.
Controversy
Many felt they
swirled after her
prioritized
death.
protocol over emotion,
Many suspected a
especially
planned
keeping
attack.
Diana's grieving
Dodi's
sons,
father claimed his
Princes
son
William
and
Harry,
Diana were
away
murdered,
from the public eye.
insisting the crash
One
wasn't
of the
natural.
biggest controversies was
Some alleged
Buckingham
Diana
Palace's
was under
refusal
U.S.
to lower the royal
surveillance.
standard.
An
By
inquest
tradition,
probed her
this flag
demise,
is
questioning
only flown
Sarah.
when the monarch
She
is
said
in
Diana
residence.
called her from
And
Al
since the
Fayed's
Queen was in
luxury yacht,
Scotland at the time,
fearing it was
it
bugged by
remained
his
fully
father.
raised. The
Sarah
palace
noted
explained
others
that the royal
suspected
standard always
MI6
stays up
involvement,
to show that the
or that
monarchy
those
continues
chasing Diana and
uninterrupted
Dodi
as the next sovereign immediately assumes the throne. However, under intense public pressure, the Union Jack was flown at half-mast when the Queen arrived at Westminster Abbey for Diana's funeral. This decision set a new precedent. Since then, the Union Jack has been lowered to half-mast whenever the monarch is absent during a national tragedy. There were also whispers of tension behind closed doors. Reports suggested disagreements between Prince Charles and the Queen's private secretary, Sir Robert Fellows, who was also Diana's relative, over the funeral arrangements. Charles reportedly wanted a large public ceremony, while Fellows sided with the Queen, who preferred a private affair. Buckingham Palace later denied these claims. Another debate centered around whether Diana's HRH title should be restored after her death. Some believed it was the right way to honor her, but after discussions between the Spencer family and the royals, Diana's relatives decided against it, believing she would not have wanted the title back. In the end, no formal request was made. These events became a turning point for the monarchy, showing how deeply the public cared about Diana and how they expected the royal family to evolve with the times.
Queen
Charles
Camilla
eventually found
banned
the
from
love of
royal
his
family.
life.
After
The romance
Prince
between
Harry's
King
shocking
Charles and Queen
revelation,
Camilla
Prince
was
Harry has
anything
described
but
the
smooth.
Duchess of
It
Cornwall
was a journey
as a
marked by
dangerous
ups
figure.
and downs. Now known
But
as
after
the Queen
35
consort,
years of knowing
she is
each other,
accused by him
they
of
finally married
deliberately
on April
dealing with
9th,
journalists,
2005.
exchanging information
In
to
February
avoid
of
being
that year,
cast as
they
the villain.
announced their plans.
In his view,
and just
she
2
was
months later,
indeed the antagonist.
they made it official.
The third party intruding
Their
into a
wedding
sacred
was a simple and
relationship.
intimate
For many
affair
years,
at
my
Windsor
mother bore the
Guildhall,
title of Queen
near Windsor Castle,
a responsibility
Since both
she
had
carried
been
with grace
previously
through a
married,
prolonged reign.
they opted for a
Though
civil
one might
ceremony
anticipate
instead of a
such a
grand royal
transition,
wedding.
it is
Only
rarely
28
something that
guests
occupies
attended,
the mind at that
making
very
it a
moment.
small but special
My mother
gathering.
was queen for an
Among them were
exceedingly
Charles's
long time.
sons,
Princes
Princes
William
William
and
and
once
Harry,
afforded her
as well
no
as
longer
Camilla's
resonates in
children,
the present.
Tom Parker Bowles,
King Charles
and
passes
Laura
by
Lopes.
without
After
receiving
exchanging
a bow of
vows, the
respect.
couple proceeded
In
to
Camilla's
St. George's
footsteps
Chapel
elicit
with
no
no
gesture
gesture
of acknowledgement
for a
from
religious
those she
blessing by
encounters.
the Archbishop
Nevertheless,
of Canterbury.
there remains a
Dr.
distinct
Rowan
sense
Williams.
that the time for change
It
has
was a
arrived.
meaningful moment
After
marking the
years
beginning
rife
of
with
their new
internal
life together.
discord and unrelenting
Camilla's wedding
public
style was
scrutiny,
elegant,
the
but
idea of
distinct from
Camilla
traditional
departing
royal
from
brides.
Buckingham Palace
She wore no
no
tiara,
longer feels like an
instead opting
implausible
for two
fantasy.
stunning hats.
In fact,
For the ceremony, she
reports
donned a
indicate
white
that
silk
Princess
chiffon
Anne
dress
made a
with a
remark.
matching coat.
Its clarity
Topped with
so
a feather
striking
hat by Philip
that it
Treacy.
may have sparked a
Later,
resolve
she changed
to guide
into a
events
beautiful
in an
embroidered
uncharted
coat in
direction.
blue and gold.
Though Anne maintains
Over a
an air
flowing
of
blue
diplomatic
chiffon
finesse,
gown,
her
paired
words
with a
revealed a
golden
subtle
feathered
shift
hat,
in the royal
also
sentiment.
by Treacy,
Similarly,
They didn't
Princess
marry
Kate
for the
seems
flash
to have
of
adopted a
cameras
stance
or the
both
grand
discreet and
ceremonies the royal
steadfast,
family had preserved for
aligning with
centuries.
Anne's perspective. They married
Further
for love.
solidifying the
A love
belief
that
that a
came late,
transformation is
endured
approaching.
patiently.
So how did
and
we
stayed
reach
quietly
this
in the
point?
shadows for
What
years,
roles do Anne and
until
Kate
it
play
could
behind
finally
the
step
closed
into the
doors of
light with
power?
dignity?
And what does this
On their
mean for
special
Camilla's
day,
position?
Charles and Camilla
It is a
didn't
universally
choose a majestic
acknowledged
castle
truth that
or
the
an
royal
ancient
family is
cathedral
far
packed
from
with
the
thousands
perfect
of
image
guests.
they present
They
to the
chose
world.
simplicity.
Beneath
A
the
civil
polished
ceremony at
exterior
Windsor
and
Guildhall,
carefully orchestrated
attended by just
media
28
moments,
close friends
lies a
and family.
realm
Those who
teeming with
truly
covert
understood the story
rivalries,
behind their calm
intricate
smiles.
power
Among
plays,
them were
and a
Prince
fierce
William and
struggle for
Camilla's son
influence.
Tom.
The burden of
standing as
maintaining
witnesses,
familial loyalty
symbolizing the
alongside public
reconciliation
duty
of two
weighs
families
heavily on
once
royal
torn apart
shoulders.
by scandal
A
and
load made
prejudice.
even more oppressive
To capture
by
the
the
moment,
unrelenting
they
gaze
invited
of the
Hugo
press.
Bernard,
A
the
scrutiny
famed
that
royal
makes tension
photographer
an
who
inevitable
understood
companion.
that some smiles are
Amid
more
this
than joy.
meticulously
They are
constructed
forged
public
from
mask,
past pain.
a deeper
And yet,
conflict has
on
been quietly
that seemingly
simmering.
perfect
Princess
day,
Anne,
two of the most
long
important
a
people were
forthright
absent.
voice within the
Queen
royal
Elizabeth
family,
II
has
and Prince
recently
Philip,
taken it
not
upon
out of
herself
anger
to express her
nor
thoughts on the
disapproval,
matter. And her
but because of
declarations
faith,
have undoubtedly
as the head of
brought
the
in
Church of England,
perspectives.
the Queen could
She
not
has
attend
openly
a civil
challenged
wedding
Camilla's
between two
legitimacy,
divorcees,
asserting
still
with
quietly
conviction that
offered
Camilla
her
is
support
unfit
by
for the role
attending
of
the
queen.
blessing ceremony
In a direct
at St. George's
confrontation,
Chapel
Anne
afterward,
told Camilla
and
to
by
her
hosting
face,
the reception
"You are
at
queen
Windsor
consort,
Castle."
not queen."
Years later,
Her
in
stance is
February
deeply rooted in
2022,
history.
during her Platinum Jubilee marking
She is a
70
woman
years on the
guided by
throne,
principle and duty.
the Queen publicly
and this has
expressed
shaped
her
her
approval
entire
of Camilla
career.
for the
Over
first
the
time.
years, her
She not
unwavering
only
commitment
encouraged
to her
public
role
to support
has
Charles
earned her
and
a
his wife,
respected
but
position within the
also
family.
shared her wish
However,
that
her
one
approach
day
to these
Camilla would be known by the
responsibilities can
official
sometimes
title
be perceived as
Queen
extreme.
Consort.
Particularly
It wasn't
when it
just a
comes
title,
to save
it was
Charles.
recognition,
As the
forgiveness,
couple's relationship
and perhaps
became more open,
a final
many
blessing from the
continued
woman
to
who
view
had long
Camilla
held the
as a
crown.
divisive figure.
But for
and
Camilla,
her presence
the
at
crown
royal
was
events
never
often
the
elicited
destination.
a mixed response.
In
In
April
2005,
2023,
when
her
Charles
son
and
Tom
Camilla
shared
married
on a podcast that
and
his mother had never
married,
dreamed of
the
becoming
royal
queen.
family took the
My
step
mother
of
just loved
officially
one man,
recognizing
he
Camilla's role,
said,
but
they
they
stopped
married
short
him.
of calling her queen
Everything
consort.
else was a consequence.
Instead, Camilla was given
a
the title
simple
of princess
statement,
consort,
yet it carried
as
the
it
weight
was
of a
believed
journey
the
filled
British
with
public was not
controversy,
yet
tears,
ready
and
to accept her
resentment.
as queen.
Nearly two
The decision
decades
to
have
refer
passed
to
since that
Camilla
wedding.
as princess
Through
consort
storms
rather
and
than
scrutiny,
queen consort,
King
Charles and
Charles
Camilla
finally breaks
have
his
learned
silence.
to
I
truly
hated her.
understand each
At
other.
long last,
Charles,
the
the man
ancient walls of the
destined to be
palace
king,
can no longer
spent
conceal
nearly
the dark
$4
secret
million
that
to
has
purchase a
smoldered
property
within.
next to Raymond House.
King Charles,
The
after
home
years of
Camilla
silence
insisted on
cloaked in
keeping as a
shadows,
private sanctuary,
has chosen to shatter the
or
stillness
becoming part
with
of the
a voice
royal
trembling
family.
with rage.
She made it clear that
His
she would
words,
keep the house.
"I despise her,"
a quiet
ring
place
out
for
like
herself,
thunder,
igniting
with
a
her
storm of
grandchildren,
controversy
to
within the
escape
royal
the
fold.
demands of royal life,
Decades of
and
buried
to just
resentment
be who
have
she
surged
is
to the
with no
surface,
crown, no
fierce
guards,
and unrelenting,
and no judging
Who is the
eyes.
target of this fury?
For Camilla,
What
that private
mysterious
space is
force has
sacred.
driven
And
this
perhaps
composed king
it's
to the
that
brink of an
simplicity
abyss
that makes her stand
Join
out
us
in the
as we
cold,
peel back the
extravagant world
veiled
of
layers
royalty.
to uncover the
At
shocking
Raymond
truth
House, she lives
behind
like
King
an ordinary
Charles's
woman.
explosive confession.
And maybe that's exactly
a
what
fated
Charles needed.
pair. What do you think?
The first
Has
encounter
his marriage
between
to
King
Camilla brought
Charles and
Charles the
Princess
peace he
Diana
could never
is
find with
often
Diana?
whispered to be
Or
tied
does
to
the
a lavish
past still
party
cast a shadow
orchestrated by
that can
Sarah,
never
her
truly
powerful
fade?
elder sister?
Don't forget to
It's
leave
said
your
that it
thoughts
was
in the
at
comments
this gathering
and
that their
subscribe to
eyes
the channel
first
for more
met,
touching,
as if
raw,
orchestrated
and
by
untold
fate
stories
itself.
behind the royal spotlight.
But according to